Hi Aquarius, this is your reading for the week beginning the 6th of April 2020. It's a general reading, taking a look at the energies in your life and how they affect you right now. Now it might not resonate with all of you. There's a lot of Aquarians around after all. So take from it what you need and hope it helps. Right, here we go, Aquarius. Right, first up, we've got the World Tree. Now, this is all about things coming together. You're tying up loose ends, you're coming to an end of a cycle, things are changing. It's not necessarily an end of things in particular, it's more of moving on from one phase to the next. And that's the energy affecting your life at the moment. This transition period, this moving on, a sense of completion when you're doing it. You know, you're finishing one thing up and starting something new. Now we've got the Page of Stones, the links. Now he's got a lot of powerful positive energy here, but he also has a tendency to be very impetuous. He jumps without thinking. And that's kind of your focus at the moment. I think you're struggling to rein yourself in. You're struggling to stay controlled because there's so many things you want to do that you're finding it difficult, maybe finding it difficult to focus. And he's coming up as a reminder to tell you to, you know, slow down a bit, think things through first, then act. There's a lot of positive energy coming in with him. So when you do act, then you're heading in the right direction, but you need to think things through first. And your thoughts at the moment, you are, yeah, this is where you're headed. This is what you want. This is what you're trying to achieve. You can't get a more positive card than this one come out. He's everything you could think of that is happy, energetic, healthy, enthusiastic. It's all there in this card. And that's kind of what you're trying to achieve. You're heading for that. That's what's motivating you, I think, at the moment. Your feelings, I think you're maybe a little bit down at times. You're struggling with things. There are problems that you're trying to overcome. And that's dragging you away from this positive energy. But in actual fact, it's making you more resilient in the process. As long as you take the advice of this card and not try and do too much, too fast, too soon, and tackle things one at a time, just a little bit each day. Keep going, keep plodding on. And the more you do, the more confident you'll get, the more focused you'll become, the more empowered you are. But you've got to take things one step at a time. Now we've got the Shaman, and this is, yeah, this is what drives the issue. This is what's moving you forward, your motivation. This is what makes you get out of bed in the morning. And he's telling you you've got everything you need. You've got that energy within you. You've got that drive. You've got the skills to actually manifest your dreams. You can make this happen because it's all there. It's all there within you, and you're quite capable of bringing all this into reality. Now, to say you need to let go, you need to trust, you need to relax a little bit, it's probably not going to sit very well with you, but that's exactly what you need to do. You've kind of got to go with the flow. You've got to not give up, but you've got to sort of let loose on the control a little bit. You've got to kind of just ease off. Don't try and do too much too fast. Relax a little bit, because I think there's a danger of you kind of burning out. This is what this one here is saying. You know, he does things that fast without thinking things through, that he then ends up in a bit of a mess. And she's coming in to say, you know, you don't have to do all that. You can do it, but bide your time, do it slowly, bit at a time. Goes against the grain, I know. And yeah, just to back that up, you know, you need to rest. You can't do everything at once. You've got to take some time out to process the things you've done already. Without doing that, it undermines any forward progress. You've got to take some time to just step back and look at the bigger picture without sort of being right in the middle of all this driving energy that's forcing you onwards. Now, these are kind of your fears, and I think maybe you judge yourself a bit too harshly. It could be that you're passing that judgment on other people, on situations even, but I think you give yourself a hard time a lot of the time. You demand all this energy from you, and sometimes you just can't give it. Sometimes you do have to take a step back. And I think you're afraid of letting go. You're afraid of just sort of releasing things and going with the flow. Now, your hopes and your dreams. This is, yeah, the success in this card. You know, she is a quite a driven character, but she's letting things go. She's moving away from things. There's a sense of separation here that is taking you from one thing or from one person onto another. You're moving on. It's time to let go of things that aren't helping you anymore, things that drag you down, things that don't really fit with what you want out of life. You're moving away from that, and that's what you want. I think you're not necessarily accepting that because you want everything. You want to be able to do everything all at once. But she's coming in to say that, no, you kind of got to make decisions. Now I'm going to give them a little shuffle, and we'll try and get some clarity on this, look at things in a little more depth. And yet you are working so hard. And it's a labour of love. It's something you enjoy. You want to be doing it. This is not hard work because you're being forced to do it. These are things that you really want to do, and it's all connected with this cycle, this moving into a new cycle. This isn't a change that is just coming about. This is a change you're making happen. You're working at this. You're progressing. You know that, and you're in charge of it all. You're putting a lot of time and effort and energy into something. Now you've got the Nine of Vessels, generosity. Now this is all about giving and receiving. There's an awful lot of positive energy coming in with this card. There's a lot of love and emotion and happiness. But that happiness tends to come from sharing, from working with people, from giving and receiving, and you have to be capable of doing both. And I think coming out with the Lynx here, who's very impetuous and tries to do everything all by himself, wants to take control of everything and just plunge forward into the unknown regardless. I think you're being told here that you don't have to do that alone. You don't have to take all the burden yourself. You can share the load. And you share the load and you share the happiness with it as well. Now we've got the Knight of Arrows, the hawk, and he's all about clear vision and focus and being quite driven. There's a lot of positive fast energy here. It's really sort of quick fire. But whereas the Lynx sort of rushes in, the hawk, this is kind of how you are, and this is how you kind of need to be. The Lynx, the hawk thinks things through first. He pays attention, he's focused, he bides his time, and then zooms in. And he's what's going to get you this. So all this sunshine, all this positive energy, it's taking on the characteristics of the hawk that are going to take you there, because he knows what he wants, he knows how to get it, and when he makes a decision, he moves fast. Then we've got the Eight of Arrows, which is struggle, and that's coming down here with the Five of Bows, empowerment. And yeah, you've got some struggles. There are things that you're having to go through at the moment, and you're feeling very kind of oppressed in a way. Everything's weighing down on your shoulders. Everything seems like it's a lot of hard work, and you feel like you're putting all this effort and energy in and not really getting anywhere. But it's not a struggle that doesn't have an end. You know, this is struggle for a reason. There's a purpose behind this, and you will get there. It seems really difficult at the moment, but whatever is facing you, all the obstacles that you feel are ahead of you, you're dealing with them. You're heading through it one step at a time, and you will get there in the end. Now we've got the Page of Bows, the Stoat, and he's a crafty little devil, this one. He's got a lot of positive, vibrant energy, but he's also got a kind of quirky way of looking at things. He's mischievous. He can be a little bit devious at times, and he's coming out here with the shaman. So yes, you've got all the skills you need. You've got everything you need to progress with what your plans are at the moment, but you need a little bit of this energy too. You've got to look at things in a different way. You've got to maybe not take the obvious route. If there's a simple explanation for something, look for the complicated. If there's a clear path ahead, take the long way round. That's the kind of thing that you need to be looking at the moment. You need a different perspective on things. And we've got the Three of Arrows, which is jealousy, and I always say that, you know, jealousy doesn't really cut it with this card. It's not just about jealousy, it's stress and anxiety and being envious and not trusting people, and, you know, all those kind of negative feelings. And I think this is kind of what you've got to release. Now, I'm not sure if this is coming from you, if you feel like that, or if it's there's someone else in your life that is directing this at you, that they're not trusting, and they're constantly trying to second guess you. And I think this is what you need to be releasing. If there's anyone or any situation that is kind of dragging you down and causing you doubts and uncertainties and worries, then that needs to be what you're letting go of now. You've got to just go with the flow and release this, because it's not very productive. This is one of those cards that I like to do that with, because you don't want it in your reading. It's an issue you've got to deal with, but deal with it and get it over and done with, rather than have it hanging around, because it's going to taint everything else. And you've got things like this, and they're really positive. So to let anything like that interfere, and that's a process that's ahead of you. That's something you've not come to yet. I think you're starting to see the beginnings of it, but that's ahead. That's something for you to deal with in the future. And things are changing. Things are really changing. You're moving from one state to another, one place to another, one relationship to another, one job to another. It's those kind of big life changes that are coming up here, and you're heading into the unknown, and it's quite scary. And I think this is why you need to take this time out and rest, because actually this is quite a major life change that's coming up. There are big changes ahead of you. You're moving into something bigger and better. And we've got the Forest Lovers. There's a lot of loving energy here, and coming out with the Great Bear here, coming out with this judgment, this judging of situations and people and things. I think this is coming out to tell you that you're supported. There's people who care about you, that are are there to support you. There's a lot of love behind you, even if you're not prepared to accept it. And when you're being harsh on yourself, there's always someone there behind you saying, look, it's okay. They might not be voicing it, but, you know, they're there for you. And I think that's an energy that you need to be more aware of, because you really have a habit of dragging yourself down. Yeah, so we definitely got big changes coming up, because, you know, we've got transition and we've got the wheel. Everything is changing now. Okay, things change anyway. Life changes all the time. But this is a change that you're in control of, and you are most definitely leaving something or someone behind. You're moving away. You're moving away from difficult situations. You're moving away from a sense of loss and uncertainty. You're moving into a future where you feel much more in control. And this is all within your reach, all these positive things. And I think you're not seeing that very clearly at the moment, Aquarius. But you will. You will. In the very near future, you're going to see things a lot clearer, and you'll see the way forward is maybe not quite as complicated as you think. So that's it for you this week, Aquarius. Please like and subscribe, and if you'd like a private reading, then details are down below. Thank you.